Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk all about what it takes to fire your social media clients. Listen, I know this isn't the easiest topic. It's not the easiest decision that you're going to have to make in your business, but sometimes you do just kind of need to get rid of certain clients for one reason or another. Maybe that client just isn't a right fit for your business anymore, or they need more services than you can provide. Maybe you're just kind of transitioning in your business and you can no longer provide services to that client. And let's hope not, but sometimes you and a client just don't vibe anymore, and that's totally fine, and it's time to go your separate ways. But there are three things that I really want you to focus on before you decide to fire your client. So number one, determining when you should do it. Now, this is going to vary business owner to business owner and social media manager to social media manager. You need to decide when you are going to fire this client. Now, I always tell people, go back and take a look at the terms in your contract. So for me and my clients, I have in my contract that I have to have a 30-day notice if they want to cancel the contract, or if 30-day notice if I want to cancel the contract. So what that looks like is I always bill on the first of the month. And actually today, as of filming, it is September 1st. So today would be the prime time date for me to let a client go so that they have a 30-day notice. Now, again, that's what I defer to in my contract. But as a business owner, I like to give as much lead time as possible. So really, unless the relationship is severely you guys just aren't meshing well and it is time to go, I always like to tell my clients with as much notice as possible within 60 to 90 days to let them know that, hey, their package is going away. I will no longer be able to serve their account, or whatever the reason is that I'm letting them go, so that it gives them ample time to source and find somebody else, while also gives my team and I time to make sure that we're fulfilling our end of the contract and making sure that we have content ready to go for them all the way through the fulfillment of the contract. And then it gives us time to offboard the client as well. So again, when you're determining when to fire a client, make sure you're sticking to what you have inside of your contract. And that way you don't get into legal trouble and you're not burning any bridges with your clients. All right, number two, how you should do it. So now this is where it's gonna feel a little icky. Depending upon the rapport that you have with your client, what I suggest is if you can get on the phone or Zoom with them first and foremost and just kind of give them your perspective, that is always the best. So making sure that you're having that conversation with your client in a tone of voice, they can hear your voice, because sometimes things get a little bit, it's hard to determine people's emotions via email, and it could kind of set them off. So the way I go about this with my clients is either A, I try and bring it up in our monthly strategy session, or B, what I like to do is say, hey, I have some quick updates, some business updates. Would you mind jumping on a 15-minute call or a 15-minute Zoom, and then going from there? And then what I always like to do is make sure I'm taking plenty of notes during that call in case they have questions, detailing out what we talked about, the specifics, and then sending a follow-up email to let them know, hey, this is when the date of terms of service are going to be done. This is XYZ next steps, blah, 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 and list it all out in an email so that they always have that for your records and for theirs. And after you've done that, again, depending upon the timeline that you and your client determine of how you're going to end this relationship, from there, you're going to want to send a cancellation notice, a contract that they can fill out, something saying, hey, this is the end of the relationship and here are the terms of the end of that relationship. And so that's going to lead me into my third point. And this is the one that is, again, going to vary between business owners, is how you are going to offboard that client. Now, this is you're going to have to dive a little bit deeper here and determine what you want to do, what you want to give to your client, and so on and so forth. Now, for me, since I charge a premium price for my services when I work with clients and I'm consistently creating custom content for them, I hand over everything, all of the assets, anything that I've created, my team has created, in Canva, in Airtable, I hand all of that over to them. But I tell them that they must go then make copies, make sure that they're saving it on their own hard drives, in Google Drive, wherever they want to. They need to save that content because I will archive it after 30 days. So that's kind of what's included in my offboarding. And I will give them bare bones, again, depending upon the client. I will give them some screen recordings, some walkthroughs that I will record on Loom or have my team record on Loom to give them the basic overview of what we did for them. And it's known as like a standard operating procedure. I give them a very basic one, just as a Loom recording, a screen recording, and I deliver that as well. What I do not include in my offboarding is any kind of brand new social media strategy. Again, they might have their initial one from me. I'm not going to go and teach my proprietary like secret sauce of, here's how I write captions for you, or here's how I design these things in Canva. And that's where, again, you're going to have to determine as a business owner how much or how little you want to give away. You might not want to give away all those Canva templates that you created to your clients, and that's okay. Just make sure that's detailed out in your contract. But some people will actually, as an upsell, say, hey, I'll offboard. I will train the next social media manager. I will train somebody on your team for X, Y, and Z price. Personally, this isn't something that I like to do because I know certain social media managers like to do things their way, or they have, my client might determine that they're going to bring it in-house and they're going to want to do it their way. And that also just takes a little bit too much time for me. But that is also a potential for you to kind of upsell as you offboard. Again, I know it might feel icky, but it might be time to just kind of let that client go, especially if they're no longer serving you and you can no longer serve them. And if you're a social media manager or work in the social media industry and you feel like you're coming across these problems a lot and need some more guidance in your social media management business, I actually have the Creative Content Lab, which is an entire membership dedicated to teaching you how to create creative content for your clients and run a creative content business. Inside of the membership, I'm giving you literally everything on how I used to run my social media agency and how I used to create content for my clients. Head to the link below for more information, and I will see you guys next week.